Okay, Chris, in your conversations with startups doing acquisitions or divesting assets for companies, what are you seeing about, this idea of domains being locked in a vault off the market forever?
Okay, so this just happened to me last couple of weeks. We were brokering a domain name, and there were several brands that had an interest in this domain name, and we sold it. During the negotiation process, we try to educate these companies on that, because once they are sold, they are rarely sold again, because they become brands and they become assets, right? And there's this thing called brand equity. And I talk a lot about brand equity, how the domain name becomes more than just a domain name once the company brings life into it, and it takes over the life, and becomes part of that brand. Okay, so they come back. This person came back about a month later, said, "Hey, is that domain still available?" And I was like, "No, it's sold." And that situation probably happens, I don't know, maybe once a month, once every other month, where domains were broken. They come back and say, "Hey, is that still available?" It happened on quite a few it happens all the time.
It happens all the time on the brokerage side. And then I see it even more on the owned and operated portfolio. We've got companies that have been reaching out. I'll even make a prediction here on the show. I'll use stanza.com. Now, STANZA.com. Stanza.com. Okay, we've owned it, I don't know how many years, a bunch. Most people would overlook that domain and be like, it's like I think it's Italian for space, like a place,
right.
or a room or something. And recently, there's been a whole bunch of companies called Stanza that have popped up, and they all reach out and they all make some lowball offer, and I say appreciate it, but that's not in line with what we're asking. And they say, okay, well, let me know when the price changes, and I just kindly reply back that okay, but I in all honesty, I think the price is probably going to change in the other direction.
Direction.
And and I'm not, I'm not trying to threaten you, but truly, every new company that pops up, it's probably adds a couple $100,000 in value to that domain. It's now we're up to 3, 4, 5, 5 venture capital backed startups that, have raised, millions of dollars, some of them tens of millions of dollars. And it's I'm sorry, I didn't, but every time one of these pops up, the traffic increases. Every time it pops up, we're getting more emails. We're getting
because they're building equity in it.
If I own a building, if I own an empty plot of land, and all of a sudden Amazon announces they're going to build their headquarters next door, sorry.
So Drew, I'm
not going to sell it for what I was going to sell for a month ago. I'm going to sell for, now Drew, the value's way more.
I use this analogy, right? So, there's some words that just have inherent equity, right? Like a quilt.com, like quilt. It's just the amount of searches that are done, the CPC that's there, okay? That has this equity that's just there by default of the keyword.
Yep.
There's other ones like you're talking about that have that. Okay, they have the equity built in, but then that equity is then is
magnified
into the sale because these companies are investing in it. They're calling themselves that same keyword.
Yep.
And so they're by default elevating the price, elevating the worth of that domain. So that's why when you're saying, listen, it's going to go up. It's going to go up because the inherent conversation that's taking place behind that keyword.
Hold on, let me just make a point. The formula that I like to give these guys is, look, how much money are you going to spend in branding and marketing this year? Okay, you're going to spend $1 million. Great. That you alone, your company, you're going to spend $1 million in branding and marketing. You alone are going to increase the value of my domain by between $100,000 and $200,000, because between 10 and 20 cents of every dollar you spend in branding and marketing is coming to the mind share of my.com.
Right.
And so, I don't know what to tell you. You're increasing the value of my.com. I'm not increasing the price. You're increasing the value.
And it's just like people are beginning to understand, if they're doing that with Facebook, they're sending all their traffic, their mind share to Facebook. They're doing
what they've done. They've turned Facebook into one of the biggest companies on earth.
Yeah, great example, Tess. Yeah.
It wasn't, exactly. It wasn't consumers. It's literally the exact same analysis, the analogy. It wasn't the consumers, it was the businesses. They made Facebook so valuable.
Right.
They said, oh, we're going to give you 10 or 20 cents on every dollar that we spend in branding and marketing. It's like, and Facebook's just going, oh, thank you. You know, we just wanted to be a website for college kids, but.
Well, okay. So let's talk examples here. I recently interviewed David Clements. He talked about the sale of ice.com, ICE.com. It sold for, into the seven figures for within under an hour, I believe, when it came to market. And they had about 7 companies all scrambling to bid on it. Same thing, off the market forever. They always thought they could get it someday, or they hadn't bothered with an outbound acquisition. And suddenly they heard it was on the market. I mean, it's a lot to move 7 figures and make that decision in an hour or less. I feel like there was a 42-minute mention. I mean, it was quick. And that's the key. You know, that interview, I talked about the importance for any corporation to have a relationship with a domain name broker. But for this interview, it's about off the market forever, not proactively looking for it, not being prepared to get it when that moment arises for you. And, you know, the Intercontinental Exchange is never, ever, ever going to sell ICE.com now that they have it. So all the other companies who are bidding, it's over. They'll never get it.
Game over. That's it. And you can just you can hear the proverbial jaws drop, just like you know. And I get those emails once in a while. Like I remember very vividly when we sold ch.com. Again, I think I've talked about this before, but it was just like, you know, was it ch? Yes,
I've heard this one.
Yeah, it was. It was ch.com, and it was that Carolina Herrera, you know, came back and was like, well, what do you mean that it's sold? That's our domain. And it was like, no, I've been trying to tell you that I'm selling it, and if you want it, you should buy it now because it's going to sell. And once it's gone, that's it. It's off the market forever. And they just couldn't get it. They didn't get it. They were like, coming back with all these different things, and it was like, you know, and the stupid thing of all of it is that he did get it. You know, he just didn't know he got it. Because in the end, when it did sell, he came back and he said, what do you mean? That was our domain. I said, but it wasn't your domain. In your mind, you're CH. In your mind, you are CH. Right.
Well, that's kind of sad.
It is sad. Because I was like blowing off the other buyer because I was like, guys, you are Carolina Herrera. Every retail store you own, every bag, every pair of jeans says CH all over it. Okay. Like you are CH. You need to own Carolina. You need to own CH.com. I mean, it's like it's obvious. A monkey knows that. But he didn't get it. And he probably should have lost his job. I hope he did because he was just, but I don't know. That's not true. I don't wish that on anybody. But what I do know is that marketers need to wake up because that is what happens is suddenly you thought Carolina Herrera has some magical right to ch.com, and then suddenly a Chinese airline thought ch was close enough to mean China, and suddenly ch.com is Spring Airways. Off the market forever, right? Like ch, as far as online is concerned, as far as the digital world is concerned, ch no longer represents Carolina Herrera.
Yeah.